Greetings, friends, from the mountains of Southern California. This is Scott, the Night Train Piper. And I just wanted to do a short tribute to my mom, talk about what else is going on. First things first, though, I am smoking tonight in my big basket pipe. That's what I call this. Bought this pipe on eBay, I believe, and it's really big. Has no markings on it. So hence my big basket pipe. And I'm smoking Blend for Danny Kaye. This is only my second bowl of Blend for Danny Kaye. But I like it. I'll do a full impression probably tomorrow. Okay, so my mom, since it is Mother's Day, well, it's past Mother's Day now, but I'm going to do it anyway. My mom was born on a small town in northern Idaho, a town called Troy, Idaho. And her, along with many other Swedish American families, moved there. And they formed a little community up there in Troy, a farming community. So she grew up on a farm, and her earliest memories from what I remember, her telling me, were of getting ice skates from the Sears catalog, and then skating on the lakes around there with them. And they were the kind that clamp on your shoes with little straps around them. So, but she remembered fondly all the sledding and all those fun winter activities. They lived in a 2-story house that her father built, and I believe it is still there up in Troy, owned by one of my cousins at this point. And so they had a small wood-burning stove, and then wood-burning oven too, I believe. And so her and her sister and brother, her and her sister shared a room together. And so, it was a cozy house, meaning small. But life on the farm is not easy, especially in that time. That would have been, the 40s, and close to 1950. Her dad died when she was just 18, and he was only 40-ish, maybe 40, 41 even, and so the family had to get out of the farming business, and they moved to the big city, which at the time wasn't all that big, but it was, for that time, compared to what they were used to. Her mom would die about 18 years later of cancer. And so, she was raised with those farmer values, the values of hard work, and just a good ethic of both her spiritual life and her just family life. Family was first. She would keep a good house. She kept a meticulous house while I was growing up. And you would rarely see her just taking time for herself to sit there and do something that she wanted to do. Now, I remember as I was getting towards high school age and college age, she would start to do some things that were just for her. One of the things she loved to do is read. And I remember her, before she would go to bed, she'd sit on the couch in the living room, just her and a little reading light. She'd be reading a book, a lot of times reading the Bible. And that was her time. her and I, we had a lot of good philosophical discussions. I was going through a lot of things at that time, just trying to grow up, the silly things, but she always had time for me to talk about everything. And she passed away in 2022, February 2022. She had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2014. So kind of a long goodbye, So today, one of her passions, along with keeping a meticulous house and a lot of other things like crafts and making quilts and other things like that, one of her passions was gardening. And she really loved foxgloves. And so, but she also loved roses and other things. But anyhow, today I had gotten a couple foxgloves, and so I planted them in her memory. Here's just a couple of pictures of those. So I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Celebrate it with the mom in your life. The only mom I have left to me is really just my wife. She's not my mom. But, I got her some flowers and some See's candy, and both of our kids and I took her out to dinner. So here's to you, Mom, wherever you are in heaven. And I still miss you. All right, what else have I been up to? Well, getting ready for a summer here a little bit. We had some warm weather. So this past weekend, I was out doing some much needed yard work, cleaning up things around here. And man, I tell you, this morning, it started out warm and sort of humid, and now it's really cold again. Yesterday night, I was outside enjoying a warm evening, and thinking, oh, it's finally here. Summer is almost here, and I can be outside again and enjoy it. Now it's really cold outside again, so, and it's supposed to get really cold again this week. So, wah, wah. No summer yet. What else? Got a little advice for you. So I set bird feeders out every day, and we just enjoy watching the interactions of the birds and at the feeders. So I get a lot of flickers. I get acorn woodpeckers, finches, grosbeaks, and squirrels. Not a target species for my feeder, but I still get them. And doggone it, if one squirrel hasn't figured out how to get a hanging feeder off of a hook. So the feeder hangs on a hook, and it's a, just kind of like a wall hook, but it's pretty. I mean, it's hard. He has to lift that sucker up. And what I found out he does, I saw him doing this one time. He goes up there and he fiddles with it a little bit and moves the hook around. And then he just grabs the top of the feeder, the hanging part, the metal part, and lifts it off the hook and drops it. And seed spills on the ground, and he goes down and eats it. But he only does it when the other feeders that I have, especially the platform feeder, runs out of seed. So I don't know which one did it, but I went out there and did two things. I went out there and I scolded him. I saw him getting up on the branch, going towards the feeder, and I noticed the platform feeder had almost no food left. I told him, don't do that again. Stay down. And he's standing there looking at me, staring me right in the eye, and I just let him have it. But then I put a sprinkle of food on the feeder. The feeder, the Haney feeder wasn't knocked down. He went down there and ate that food, and then he was gone. And it wasn't right before dark either, so. And he hasn't knocked it down since. I go out there with just merely a handful of food late in the afternoon, spread it on the platform feeder, and it seems to be working. I haven't had to scold him since. But that first time, man, I just let him have it. just like if he's one of my kids. It's pathetic, isn't it? Well, it's just me and my wife around here. I don't have any kids to get after. So, all right, well, that's it. Looking forward to a good week here, and I'm going to do some repairing of an old Coleman lantern if I get the parts tomorrow. And hopefully it won't rain or snow or anything ridiculous like that this week. I don't think it's supposed to. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy yourself this week and have a good one. I shall talk to you all later.